We gone. Just got dropped, Big Shell Lake. Maybe there's a plane back there. On for an exciting adventure. Stay tuned. All right. I've made it in. Got dropped at Big Shell. And now I'm paddling down the Saborn River. All is going pretty good. And don't know how far I'll go. I just rigged up, so I'm gonna look for a spot to fish. If I start catching fish, that may be where I camp. Having a blast. All right, how we doing out there? You saw some of that earlier nonsense. I was on a plane, and I was on a creek. And now I'm on this lake, and I have this lake all by myself. And I may or may not have had to put on my clothes to shoot this video. So anyways, let me show you where I am. Oh, that's the menu. If you want to zoom in on that, that's what we're going to be doing this week in terms of food. But in any event, enough about that. So, I got dropped off today at Big Shell, and I paddled down the Saborn in sort of this direction. Hopefully you can see that. There were a number of portages. The first one out of Big Shell, not a portage at all. I was able to just sort of shove my way through those rocks. The first portage was 125, and it was great. You know, get the first portage out of the way. I brought enough stuff that I need to 2 portage, but that's okay. I want to be comfortable. And then paddled through. I tried fishing that lake, didn't get anything. Tried fishing the lake I'm on. I got pushed all over the place with the wind, so didn't really pick up any fish. So I'm gonna eat tomorrow night's dinner tonight. But in any event, look at this. I got this whole lake to myself. It's fantastic. Let me back up and say that I'm in Woodland, Caribou Provincial Park. And I've been here 3 times now with my son, and we've done a bunch of canoeing, and we've done routes out of Johnson and Lund, and we did one route where we flew into Big Shell and paddled sort of south. But I couldn't rally anybody this year, so I'm here solo. And I gotta tell you, I was super nervous. So nervous that last night I could barely sleep. I kept telling myself, well, you don't have to go. And I got on the plane anyway, and I was a little worried when the plane took off that I was gonna have a panic attack or something, and it didn't happen. And I gotta say, my pilot, Ian, bush pilots in general are really, really cool. Great people. Ian, he was the bomb. And he flew out and came back across the lake and basically buzzed the bow of my canoe. Super cool. I would have had a picture of that if I was quick with tech, but I'm not, as some of you may know. So why am I here? I don't know. I love it. I've been here a bunch. I needed the challenge. Sometimes life doesn't always groove you fastballs. So I needed something to sort of reboot, and I think this is going to be what I'm looking for. There's going to be some challenges. I've picked a route that is going to have some creek challenges, and I don't really like traveling on creeks because half the time you think you're lost. So I got some creek travel, but I'm also hitting 5 or 6 lakes that I've had my eye on, that I've wanted to fish, that I know don't get a lot of visitors. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about eating blueberries. I'm excited about just being out here in the solitariness of it all. That's a word. So tomorrow, well, tonight, I've been just chilling. I got here around 4, and I got a beautiful beachfront. Did a swim, washed my hair. Just been, I don't know. I've never been one for meditation, but kind of feels like I've just been sitting in my chair and just taking it all in, man. This is one hell of a great place. So I think I'm gonna eat tomorrow night's dinner tonight because I had fish on the menu for tonight. Didn't really get a lot of fishing in. So it's gonna be steak and potatoes tonight. And then tomorrow we're headed west through Thicketwood and probably into Laris. And I'm hoping to get, I don't know what the next lake is. It might be Simeon or Saborin. I don't know. Somewhere down there. I know Thicketwood has a outpost on it, and I know Laris does too. So I'm trying to avoid lakes that have the outposts. But I also heard it's possible there's a bachelorette party going on at Thicketwood. And so tulip, earmuffs, I'm hoping for a bikini hatch. I've talked to some other people, and they said I'm nuts for even hoping for such a thing. But hey, man, what's life without hope? In any event, I will check back in the morning and let you know when I put on the water. It's been kind of windy. I got pushed around a little bit today, so I think I'm gonna have an early shove tomorrow. And I'll check in accordingly. Stay beautiful and be nice to each other. Good morning there. Just shoved. That was the campsite over there. Just a beautiful evening. Had a wonderful steak, ribeye to be exact. Paired that with some potatoes, and I had a little salad. So just putting on the water, 7:30 in the a.m. Wanted to get a earlier start, but holy crap, the mosquitoes were brutal. Normally they come out, you know, right after sunset and do their thing, and by the middle of the evening they gone. But I got out of the tent at like 1 in the morning last night, and holy moly were they bad. And they were bad again this morning. So today we're over here somewhere. We're off the map, but we're going down the Saborin River. Here's Thicketwood. To get to Thicketwood, I have about a I think there's a 250 portage in there somewhere. And then if you can see this big lake down here, that's Laris. And I think those are going to be the 2 longest portages that I do over the next few days. There will be some creek travel trying to get down into Dunstan, but we'll take that as it comes. In any event, I hope you are having as equally as good of a morning as I'm having. We will catch you sooner or later. I am going to try some fishing. May spend an hour or 2 here and there. So hopefully I have pictures of or video of me slaying fish. Stay tuned. Well, that didn't take long. I was trolling to the end of the lake, and I got something. I'm guessing it's a pike, but I'm on the board. Where is he? Ooh. Oh no, it's a little walleye. How about that? There's walleye in this lake. Come here. Settle. Oop. Boat release. All right. So there we go. Hey, the fish are biting. Stay tuned. Hey, forgot to tell you, I had oatmeal for breakfast with locally sourced blueberries. But the cooler thing is here, we got ourselves a big moose. I think it's a cow. Hasn't spotted me yet. Gonna have to make a little noise. Okay, she hears me. Oi, oi, oi. Hello. Oi. Apparently can't tell which direction I'm coming from. Now we've got it. Hi there. What's the plan, Stan? I think you can take me. Doesn't care. Long hair don't care. That's a bird behind me. And it's gonna just do what it wants to do. Looks like it's crossing the river. Gonna give me some room, which is cool. Watch this thing get out of the water. Look how big that thing is. All we can say is we're really happy they're not carnivores. Very cool. Stay tuned. Okay. That portage was a bit of a challenge. It's the last one. I think coming down the Saboran, there's probably some other crap I'm gonna have to get over. But the last one apparently on the map before I get to thicket. I think I was off trail more than I was on trail on that one. But I got it done. I just through an extreme abundance of caution, I decided to triple carry it. I didn't want to have the food on my back and the canoe. It was kind of tricky. I didn't want to break an ankle. But the beauty is that when you're walking back on the portage, there's all sorts of opportunity to eat blueberries, and on this portage, there are a bunch of raspberries. So filled up on a little bit of both. Just a beautiful river. Hoping for some more moose. And ultimately, I'd like to do some fishing. So stay tuned. All right. Decided to stay on Thicketwood. There's nobody here. Found a great campsite. Fishing seems to be pretty good. Think I got a walleye the way he's tugging. Yeah, nice walleye. For dinner. How about that? You see that? Perfect eater. Settle down. All right. How we doing? Good evening. As I sit here on the front porch of what only could be considered the Four Seasons of all campsites. Didn't go as far as I thought I was going to go today. Still, 5 hours paddling with a portage thrown in there, which proved to be a challenge. was only 250 yards, but it was more of a bushwhack. I think I was off the portage more than I was actually on it. But I got through it and got onto thicket wood and immediately started trolling. And almost as immediately, I started picking up walleye and was just having a blast catching one after another. It struggled into the wind a little bit. This is my first solo canoe adventure. I will say that having that kayak paddle is pretty nice. You can move pretty quickly with that thing, but staying pointed into the wind turns out to be, a lot for somebody that doesn't do it a lot. So, in any event, I battled my way to this spot. This campsite is marked on most maps and on Paddle Planner. And my initial plan was to just have lunch here and continue on just a little bit more to the west, and then quick jog to the south is the portage to Laris. Laris was the objective today, but I got here and I walked into the campsite. The first thing I noticed was a lot of blueberries. And my dad, who is the one that got me involved in all this nonsense, loved himself a blueberry patch. And so I immediately was on the blueberries, eating those. And then I started walking around. There's a really good spot back there for the tent. I've got this waterfront here, this rock face. It's just perfect. And I'm facing directly west. Those are all things that I look for in a campsite. I love a sunset. I love blueberries. I love a great place to park the tent. And I love to swim. So after a little bit of salami, I decided I'm staying. The fishing is really, really good. I had fish on the menu for dinner, and so I knew I'd be able to pick them up here, and that's what I did. So I got set up. I took one of my first of, I think, 3 baths, but it might have been 4. It was pretty hot today, so getting in the lake felt really, really good. And then I got in the canoe and I kind of paddled around my little bay here and out around that point. And I'll show you that point. It's sort of in the direction of the sunset, and I'll show you that in a second here. As soon as I went around that point, it was windy, but that's where the walleye were stacked up, and I just started getting them one after another. It was a lot of fun, and then it just got to be too much. I kept getting pushed around. I had ballast in the front of the canoe, but that didn't seem to help, so I just spun around and came back here, and I spent a lot of my afternoon just sitting here contemplating how great the world is. Did a little bit of reading, a lot of swimming, and then I got going on dinner, which was walleye, hash browns, green beans, which I marinated in a Italian dressing, and I paired that all with some water. I had 2 fruit punches for lunch, 2 quarts of fruit punch. And another one would probably be too much. I'm fruity enough as it is. So, yeah, I'm living life. I'm loving it. It's great. Wish you were here, per usual. Got the Garmin working. Been texting with my boy. He's my number 1 paddle partner. But love having my brothers, my dad, of course, my nephews. They would love it, I think. It's a lot of work, as everybody that does this knows. So, in any event, tomorrow, I don't know. I'm not going to make a plan until I get to where I'm going, because I had a plan today and I decided this was just too beautiful of a place to pass up. The 2 campsites on Laris that I was looking at, they face east, and I would have had to go pretty far down the shore of Laris and make the right-hand turn to head west Looks like maybe there's a couple of good campsites there, but they also have outposts on that one. They say there's an outpost on this one, but when I came down the Sabourin, there was something on the right. If that's the outpost, I don't think it gets a lot of use. I do know this lake is connected to Sabourin, where they have that big lodge, but nobody's come my way all day. I've had this whole place to myself, so it's been wonderful. The solitude is fantastic. So in any event, I'll check in the morning. I'll let you know when I shove, where I'm going and what I'm thinking. It looks like, according to my Garmin weather comms, looks like it's going to be less windy tomorrow, so I'm hoping that's the case. But it also looks like it's going to be hot, so probably a lot more swimming on the agenda. In any event, I'll let you go. I appreciate you tuning in, and as I leave you, I'm just going to show you my view, and I've been looking at this all day, and I got to tell you, it's just flat out spectacular. As spectacular as this campsite I'm in. All right, here we go. So there's my campsite all set up. I will say it's kind of a bummer not being able to make a fire, but I've been managing with the stove. I packed in a bunch of gas bottles. It's really hard cooking fish and hash browns and green beans when you don't have a fire. You got to do each one individually on the one burner. But coming into view, look at that. I think I'm gonna get just a Brody of a sunset, and then down into my little bay, and that's how we're doing it. Stay well. Well, good morning. Not my quickest start out of camp. It's 8 a.m. Just leaving that beautiful spot, headed down for the portages into Laris, and then take it from there. Wonderful, wonderful morning. Beautiful night's sleep. Just perfect. Blueberry pancakes for breakfast. I was a little delayed. It took me a while to get the brekkie made. It's not the quickest breakfast, but it is pretty damn tasty with locally sourced blueberries. And I was trying to wait for some stuff to dry. There was some condensation, so kind of was putzing around a little bit. Now making my way to Laris, and Dad, you would have loved the blueberries on that campsite. I will talk to you guys later. I'll do a little fishing en route, but mainly going to wait to get across the portage on Laris to figure out what the big game plan is. Wow, nice little reef right here. So in any event, stay tuned. Adios. Just pulling into the bay. Pick up the portage to Laris. Got a little something on. See what we got. Figured as soon as I came around that point, something would bang it. Nice tailwind right now. That keeps up. Tugging. Must be a nice walleye. Fight hard in this lake. Come here. Not bad. All right, let's go find this portage. Hey there. Just on to Loris Lake. Did the 2 portages out of thicket wood. First one was probably harder than the second one, but they both were hard. The first one had some down stuff on it. The second one had some boot suck. Yeah, that's about it. About 500 yards, I think. Could be meters, could be rods, could be smokes. In any event, once you figure out what the distance is, it's all pretty self-explanatory. Look at this beach. Holy moly. And check out how beautiful this lake is. Just spectacular. Headed straight south now for a little bit, and then I bang a right and head east to my next portage. And I don't know, was that a fish that just jumped? He wants to be caught. Adios. The bite is on. Been pretty slow all day, but man, it just started up. Stay tuned. Adios. Hi there. Welcome to day 3. What a beauty of a day. I started out on thicket wood this morning and paddled my way to the portage, caught a fish along the way, which always is a great start to the day. Made my way across the first portage, and it wasn't horrible. There was some stuff that I had to climb over. Griff, you'll appreciate this. I crashed. There was a section where the grass was really tall, and there were potholes in there, just sprinkled in for good measure. And I stepped into a hole and just kind of fell down, picked myself up, kept going. The second one was equal in distance, maybe a little shorter. I think the first one's 580. The second one's 520, something like that. Boot suck on the second one, but it finished on this just absolutely beautiful beach. I think I showed you. And then I paddled down Loris and was getting a little concerned. There was sort of a cross following tailwind that sort of kind of wiggles the canoe a little bit, more than I like. And then I banged a right and headed west, and the paddling was easier, mostly tailwind, I would say. And then I got to the portage. There is a beautiful waterfall there. I don't think I got a video of it, unfortunately. And then I had some lunch, caught some leeches that were floating around near the shore. My son normally does that, but he's not here, so I got to do it. And then I went and jigged out in front of that waterfall, and it was slow, but I definitely picked up a few, maybe 5. And then right as I was leaving, a motorboat came in there. That lake, Simeon, which is what I'm on now, is connected to a lake called Saborin, and Saborin has a big lodge on it. And so I got out of there just in time, so I didn't have to try to bump boats with those guys, and they probably want the peacefulness and the serenity. And then I went and looked for some campsites. Nothing really suited my appetite, and so then I just kind of wiggled my way through Simeon, and it's kind of weird. There's kind of a hole in my maps where some of the lake is missing. One map has it take you so far. The next map sort of has the finish, but there's a section in the middle. And I've got a Garmin. I'm not all that great at it, but it kept saying I was going in the right direction. And then I ended up in this campsite. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. Great waterfront, as you can tell. Canoes parked over there, tents up the hill. Just finished dinner, which was fish tacos. They were more like burritos, though. They were big. I had 2 of them. The walleye I got maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes before I hit the campsite. So he was very nice to attach himself to my hook so I would have something to put in my fish tackles. Um, yeah, that's about it. I was thinking about maybe going out for an evening fishing session. It looks just absolutely beautiful out there. But just sitting here on the rock and contemplating everything that's great about life is also maybe on the docket. Tomorrow, headed south. I'm not going very far. I'm going to a lake called Dunstan, which is just south of here, but there's some creek travel. So I'm giving myself a lot of time because I know there might be some frustration involved. I struggle in creeks historically. So it's going to be a great challenge, and that's what I'm here for. Um, I understand the fishing is outstanding on Dunstan and Wanda, which is two lakes to the south of Dunstan. So I don't know where I'll end up. Hopefully, I end up on one of those lakes. If not, something has gone seriously wrong, and you'll have to tune in to find out what happened to Johnny. So, hey, thanks for tuning in, and I'll check back in tomorrow, I'm sure. You have a wonderful evening. As always, I wish you were here. See ya. Well, good morning. It's Sunday. I think it's day 4. And I'm 68% sure I'm headed towards the portage. Beautiful, beautiful morning. Late jump. Not going far, like I said. Gonna do some fishing. Well, probably put the rods away for the portages, and then restring when I get to Dunstan. That's the plan. Weather looks like another banger. Maybe a little windier today, but luckily I'm doing some tight water today, so shouldn't be an issue, but shouldn't be's don't always work out to be won't be's. In any event, on the way, and hopefully everything works out. I'll be videoing you next from Dunstan Lake. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Adios. Did not take long. At this rate, I may not make it to the portage. Goal is to catch a fish on every lake I fish. So far, so good. Laris was, to be fair, I didn't really work it all that much, but I only caught 1 or 2 on Laris. There's more travel than anything. This lake just produces. That lodge that's on here, I think it's pretty big. They must do a nice job, little Wally. Must do a nice job not eating everything they catch. Might be an idea for my dad. He's 91. He might sign off on the American plan deal. Super soft. But if you can't get in the canoe or in and out of the tent, Smalley. Maybe that's an option. I'd do it. I don't like to be guided, but I could suffer it for a week. All right, vaya con Dios. Thinking this one might be bigger. Got to tell you, had 2 breakfast burritos this morning. Just absolutely dynamite. Looking back at my campsite there, it was a winner. Thicket wood was the best so far, but I'll take my time on Dunstan. Look for a good spot. I've heard that place burned.
Man, I'll tell you what, my trip so far, it's been one maybe before I got to Wood on the Saboran River there. Looked fairly burnt. What do we got here? Big. Come on. Talking like a walleye. There's smallies in here. I think on the last video I said I caught a smallie. It was a walleye. It's just small. Oh yeah, Jesus. Much better. Hope I can get this guy in the boat. Come here, big guy. Big Walter. Ooh. Gonna need the pliers. Yo. There, big guy. Come on, say no. I'm an insurance, not really a surgeon. There we go. Look at that bad guy. Huh? Back in the water. Hey there, just did the first portage. You can see behind me I'm going that way at Simeon Creek. I think I'll be going against the current based on which way the grass is laying down in the water, but who knows. We'll figure that out as we go. Wanted to let you know where we were. So this is Simeon Lake here, and I was camped sort of off the map right across away from this bulb. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Here's the portage. Now I'm in this creek. I've got another little one coming up before I'm in South Simeon Lake. And then I got a 150. And here's all that creek travel that has got me a little concerned. But if it looks like what I have over my right shoulder, then I should be okay. And then there's a 60. And that's Dunstan. That's where I'm headed. So let's walk the portage. This is a shorty. Basically, we cut out an oxbow on the Simeon Creek and just went up and over this ridge. I'm guessing they did that because there's some obstruction in that oxbow, or maybe somebody decided this is quicker. This is a, as far as portages go, this is a beauty. I could see if it was wet, that portion that we just walked through could be a little tough. Maybe some boot suck there. Just now up and over this hill. So pretty wide, no issues, good portage blazes, so you know you're doing the right thing. And those are not blueberries. I don't know what they are. Probably don't want to eat one and find out. It's for up here, it's kind of a steep little hill. So I'm heading back now to get the food pack and the canoe. And maybe you can see maybe through the woods there. That's the bottom of Simeon Lake. Fishing is great in that lake. Holy cow. I think thicket wood was better. And given how hot it is and how much sky there is, it doesn't seem to be affecting the bite at all. Kind of slow midday yesterday, but holy shit, when it turned on, look at that view. That's pretty nice. All right, we're at the end, yo. I'll check back in. You seem to be a good audience. And there's the food pack and the canoe. So there you have it. Woohoo! A bit of a treat. Sensationally shallow on the map. The map might be accurate. Well, good news. There's always good news. I made it to Dunstan, a destination lake for me. The bad news, it's a little windy. I barely got onto the lake. I was able to make my way to the second campsite on the north end of the lake. It's right to the right side if you're coming from the north, in the little channel. I got a nice view of the lake, but it's just way too windy to go around the corner and try for something further south. So I'm just gonna chill and watch my stuff blow away. The creek was a challenge. Sorry about that. Cut off so rudely by the GoPro bat. So, where was I? Oh, coming up the creek. You saw the video. I was definitely out of the boat quite a bit coming up that thing. There was one spot where I did have to pull the packs to get the boat up and over. And there were some beaver dams. So beaver dams are good and bad. The good is that once you get over them, you know you're going to have a reprieve for a couple hundred yards, and then you start tackling whatever comes at you. I kind of felt like it was trying to solve a puzzle at times. There was one point towards the end where I got to this big body of water, and I thought, wow, okay, I'll make some time now. And then I got the end of it, and there was a thicket of cottontails, so thick that I'm like, well, that's the end of this program. So I figured I must have missed the portage, so I turned around and started going backwards, and there were some rock gardens that I had to get back through, and I was standing up in the canoe and I just couldn't see anything. At one point I even contemplated climbing one of the hills nearby, because after the burn, you can see it's burned quite a bit here. I thought maybe I'd get a view of where I was supposed to go. Thought better of that, pulled out the Garmin. It told me I needed to keep going, so I did. So I got back to that thicket of cottontail and just, where's a button willow? You can answer down in the comments below. And I had to basically just pull my way through, and I was very skeptical that I was going the right way. But then I got through it, and there was some more creek, and then I came around a corner and I saw the portage place, and super easy portage to get in here. So here I sit, not sure what I'm gonna do. I do know that I'm gonna have some lunch, and I'm probably gonna take a bath because it's hot. I'm gonna rig up so that when the wind dies down, I'll be able to fish, and then we'll just take it from there. This campsite is suboptimal. I guess it would work. I mean, it's got a great view, so that's cool. No blueberries, but I haven't really looked around. The rest of the day was okay. I did that portage into South Simeon, and those were easy. And then there's a choke point in the lake that you get into off of South Simeon portage, and I have a feeling that if the water's high, you can get through this little pinch point. That wasn't the case today. I had to sort of one pack at a time, my extra stuff. I probably 4 or 5 portaged that thing just because it was rocky. Sometimes you were wading in the creek. I basically dragged the canoe through, but it was more carry than it was drag. But I got through it. That actually took me probably the longest time today. So I'm happy to be here, and we'll see what the day unfolds. Not much doing right now. I am gonna rig, and I'm gonna throw a lure in this little channel. I have a feeling something will hit it. So anyways, stay tuned. Hope you're having a great day. Definitely a bear over there. Just ran off into the woods. Came over, sort of right there on that rock, checking me out. He made his way over there, took another look. Hopefully I'm not on the menu. Well, good evening. Not a lot has changed since the last time we spoke, other than seeing that bear. Still sitting in the same spot, making the best of it. Had a nice afternoon, did a couple of baths, read my book, and just stared out at the water. At times I was thinking the wind was laying down and I was getting ready to go, and then I'd look and I could still see whitecaps. There's still whitecaps out there right now. So I just decided it's probably best that I just stay put. So I got camp all set up and have just been otherwise chilling. My plan is to get up early and leave so I can do some fishing here, and then make my way down to Wanda and do some fishing there. And I think ultimately I'm gonna try to get to Terry. All of it involves creek travel, which I'm sure you've come to realize is challenging for me, but I made it here. So, and I ultimately got to get to Mexican Hat, so there's no two ways about it. Tuesday looks like the weather could be kind of crappy. Maybe some rain is what the weather comms are showing. But I don't know. Maybe at this point rain would be better than wind. Wind, I'm just screwed. I can't seem to make headway into the wind. But maybe if it's raining, maybe it's not windy, says the optimist. In any event, what's that old saying? If you want to make a woodland caribou laugh, tell them your plans, or something like that. So in any event, it's been a wonderful afternoon. It's going to be a great evening. I'm looking off to the west, and the clouds that came in around 3 or 4 are starting to break a little bit, and I think that's going to give me a fantastic sunset. The cloud came in, I'll tell you, it was hot, and when the cloud came in, it actually cooled things off. That's when I jumped in the lake,
and that also helped cool things off. And that's about it. Really glad I caught those walleye this morning on Simeon, and looking forward to catching more fish tomorrow and seeing where the day takes me. So thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Oh, and I've been noticing you've getting a lot of crotch in these videos. Sorry about that. And that I've been itching my hands a lot. The right hand took a beating on the first night. Something bit me, and the hand really swole up. It's still a little swollen, I think, but not too bad. And it got to the point where even the right arm felt funny, but it's feeling a lot better now. So hopefully in the next videos you don't get so much of my junk, and you don't see me itching my hands as much as I've been itching my hands. In any event, that was probably more than you wanted. I will catch you manana, piranha. Be good to each other.